is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Swigger, and I have another high ELO commentary for you, featuring Azingy playing on his notorious Karthus. Now, he is not in the jungle. Azingy is known for doing the jungle Karthus, but I think that this is still going to be a great commentary simply because he is very, very good with Karthus. So, him being in the top lane, him being in the jungle doesn't really matter. I think we're still going to see some pretty amazing Karthus gameplay out of Azingy. For those of you who don't know, Azingy is currently the jungler for Team Dignitas. At least he was for week 6 of the North American LCS, but I don't believe that they've replaced him quite yet. And he, as I was saying before, kind of notorious for some very interesting jungle picks. One of the few junglers who really tries to break the meta nowadays in terms of junglers. Kind of like Diamond Prox used to back in the day, but as we can already see, a lot of damage being traded between these two. Looks like Azingy coming out just a little bit on top here, but going to be a very interesting little dynamic in the top lane. One of the main challenges Karthus is going to have in the top lane, especially against the Pantheon, is that when Azingy plays jungle Karthus, his ultimate is pretty much uncounterable. He's in the jungle, nobody's really watching him. Even if you have a ward on him at that location, you can't really jump in and stun him and stop the ultimate from happening. It will happen. But in the top lane, especially against the Pantheon, you have to kind of go back behind your turret and try to get your ultimate off, try to channel that. But that doesn't even prevent Pantheon from possibly flash W on you and canceling your ultimate, which would be a very big deal because it would prevent you from getting kills, prevent you from getting assists, and could basically put that on a very long cooldown, so you're not going to have it for a prolonged period of time. But I will also put it on directed cam. It's not just going to be focused on Azingy, but just looking at the team comps here a little bit. Oh, looks like Cassidy is going to be getting first blood. Great time for me to go over to the mid lane. But just going to talk about the lanes a little bit here. So as we said before, Karthus versus Pantheon in the top lane. Looks like we've got Sejuani and Kha'Zix in the jungle. I don't know why I couldn't say Kha'Zix there for a second. But then we've got Katarina and Cassidy in the mid lane. A lot of Kaz, which is going to be a very aggressive lane. It's going to be incredible to watch the action that happens between Cassidy and Katarina. We've got Kog'Maw versus Varus in the ADC roles in the bot lane with their supports Blitzcrank and Soraka. So a lot of damage coming out, a lot of sustain coming down for the blue side bottom lane, but not really a lot for the red side. They both have quite long range as well, but Blitzcrank does have that engage, and Kog'Maw and Soraka both do not have really any way of disengaging from a Blitzcrank hook. I'm so excited to be seeing Sejuani being played nowadays. She's such an interesting champion, and she was so absolute garbage for the longest time. So it's exciting to see her kind of being played a little bit more. The patch really made her at least playable. I would still wouldn't go to say that she can replace other junglers in terms of what other junglers can do, but she does enough. And I find that she's very, very tanky, and her ultimate, if you know how to land that ultimate, it is such a great spell. Nearly like a long range of Mumu ultimate. Very, very good. But going down the CS a little bit, very even up in the top lane for our boy Azingy. 26 to 28 in favor of the Pantheon, though. 23 to 18 in the jungle in favor of Kha'Zix. 30 to 19. Pretty big difference, considering it's only 5 minutes into the game for the Cassidy. Already has that Tear of the Goddess, which is going to be stacking up nice and early. I don't know necessarily if Cassidy's going to be going for that hyper scaling build. Sometimes what you'll see Cassidy do is they'll build the Tear of the Goddess and then they will build into a Rod of Ages, which just means that it's going to take them a long time for them to really be strong, but when they do hit that point, they are incredibly hard to deal with. A lot of damage, quite tanky, having that shield as well from the Seraph's Embrace, so gonna have to see what he starts building, but looks like Sejuani is gonna get pulled in. Cassidy is here, Blitzcrank doing quite a bit of damage, and Cassidy is gonna try to take down the Sejuani. She doesn't want to use her flash, but Cassidy using his flash to make sure he gets in range for that kill, and while this is all being said and done, Kha'Zix is up in the top lane, helping Azingy get his first kill of the... Sorry, it wasn't actually him, it was the Kha'Zix getting the kill, but they secured that kill onto the Pantheon. Great gank, and great little counter initiate thing in the jungle right by the Raptor pit, catching up the Sejuani, and smart move on the Sejuani's part, not burning that flash. I don't think there was much getting away from that, Cassidy and Blitzcrank, so save your flash, use it at a time that you could escape or engage on something, so definitely like that play. Looks like they're trying to make something happen on the Katarina, but Blitzcrank cannot pull through minions. I cannot believe that didn't hit. That was very, very close. But Cassidy is now level 6, which is that scary part of Kassadin. And this is the newly nerfed Kassadin, by the way. So it'll be exciting to see if he still has the same kind of carry potential that he had prior to his nerfs. But look at the damage already going on to Katarina. Oh, the flash hook! And that is 100% worth it. The flash hook from the Blitzcrank gets the flash from the Katarina. And I'm sorry, you'd rather have your flash on the Katarina than on your Blitzcrank. So definitely worthwhile for the Blitzcrank to burn that one. And that's going to be 2 flashes down for the next 5 minutes. Sejuani finally using her sweeper. Really putting that to good use. There are 2 sweepers currently on the red side. Kassadin and Kha'Zix both picking those up. And it looks like Kha'Zix has also gotten a very early pink ward. I'm going to be very curious to see where he puts that. Maybe try to get a little bit of jungle control. But as we can see up in the by the Baron pit, the blue side already has a pink ward up in that that little brush area that's oh so sneaky. And I don't think Blitzcrank is actually going to be able to see this right now. I don't know if he's going to walk in here, but Kha'Zix coming up. Looks like they're going to try to force a gank here, but they do now know because of that great pink ward and also this ward right here. But the grab going onto the Pantheon, he's going to take a lot of damage. Does have his flash available and is going to flash over, but Kha'Zix jumping over as well with his flash. Azingy coming over with his flash as well. Kha'Zix going to pick up the Pantheon. The last auto attack from Karthus was just not enough, but there's going to be the ultimate kablooey! Because, sorry, Azingy picking up that kill. No problem whatsoever. Very nice gank on the Pantheon, burning his flash. They did burn 2 flashes themselves on the Kha'Zix and also on the Karthus, our little Azingy buddy over there. But 2 kills for 2 flashes, I would take that any day. Karthus picking up his first kill of the game, also has 2 assists. Kha'Zix 2-0-1 and Kassadin 2-0-0. But it looks like the teleport coming down into the bot lane from Azingy. Gonna try to gank here. Yeah. Oh boy, that's awkward. So it looks like he might have baited Kog'Maw into the Kassadin here. He does have the Force Pulse, so there's going to be a lot of damage. Ignite going down, Karthus landing one more Skittle, but it looks like Azingy is going to be going down from the ultimate from Pantheon, landing that Heartseeker Strike and killing the Karthus, but Karthus still getting a lot of damage out, being in his zombie form, but it looks like Blitzcrank getting minion blocked a little bit here, is going to go down to the Pantheon as well. Very successful Pantheon ultimate to get in there for that fight, but Kha'Zix now looking to see if he can pick somebody off, if somebody is stupid enough to walk in here, but oh my god, Kha'Zix is going for the fight onto the Pantheon, into 4 people, an ultimate absolutely decimating the Kha'Zix, getting locked down by the Sejuani, but Varus with a great piercing arrow manages to pick off the low health Pantheon. So all in all, definitely a good fight for the blue team, but at least with what the Kha'Zix did there, prevented them from doing the dragon, which is what it looked like they were going to try to do. So all in all, not the worst case scenario, but you still probably would have wanted something a little bit better than that. Katarina trying to make a play onto this fairly low health Kassadin, but looks like nothing's really going to come from it yet. She doesn't have her flash or her ignite available, so kind of lacking a little bit of damage. Her ultimate is also still down. Blitzcrank going to try to get in here. She currently doesn't have anything to jump to. Is going to get the hook, knock her up. Kassadin doing a lot of damage, does not have his ignite though. Going to try to pick this one up with the Rift Walk, not going to be enough damage, and Katarina is going to get away with a sliver of health. But nothing burned to try to pick up that kill, so very nice little roam from the Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank doing a great job using those early Moby Boots buys to just absolutely decimate the map with his roams. Both junglers picking up their respected red buffs, and it looks like Azingy might be able to pick up a free blue buff here, doing a nice little roam to get a free ward down in the jungle, and Sejuani is currently just in base buying, so this is going to be a free blue buff for Azingy's Karthus, which is just going to be terrifying. Skittles for days. Taste the rainbow, bitch. Blitzcrank now coming in to try to help Azingy kill this Pantheon. They did get spotted, but Blitzcrank is just so fast with those Moby Boots that gets right into range of the Pantheon. Pantheon going to jump in onto the Karthus, try to get him down. A lot of skills are landing, and that is going to be a kill for Azingy, and another assist for the Blitzcrank. 0, 1, and 4. Very, very nice score as a support, and Azingy sitting at 2, 1, and 2. It's a pretty terrifying thing that you have 2 champions who are building the Tier of the Goddess. Looks like Kassadin is also going for that ultimate stacking build, going for that Rod of Ages after his Tier of the Goddess, but having 2 Tier of the Goddess champions who are going to be stacking it up so well and are doing really well, this is the main thing. If you buy a Tier of the Goddess, you are very, very weak at the beginning. You only really have mana regen. That's all you've got, but I'm not going to talk about that yet because Katarina doing a nice little roam up here onto Azingy is going to try to get in here and do as much damage with her ultimate as possible, but there's going to be an ultimate from the Sejuani, and that is going to be plenty of damage being held in that Katarina Death Lotus for so long, and Azingy is going to go down, but what I was saying is that when you buy a Tear of the Goddess first, you are so damn weak, right? You just have really mana regen. There's not really a whole lot else that you can do. So normally you try to abuse people who buy that very early. A nice kill onto the Soraka, and it looks like Kog'Maw now in a bit of a precarious situation, and they're going to try to take him down. They currently do have the Ignite down on him. One turret shot onto the Kha'Zix. I don't know if this is going to be enough to pick him up. A nice heal coming from his W is going to be enough to keep him alive from the Kog'Maw passive explosion. Very nicely played, but it looks like the Pantheon man drop is going to come in, and this is going to be one dead Varus. No issue at all for the Pantheon there. Blitzcrank taking a lot of damage from the Sejuani, and it looks like a little bit from the Dragon. And this is going to be... Oh, great flash from the Blitzcrank. Really baiting into that one and getting out of there. But Kassadin now I really just want to talk about the Tear of the Goddess stuff, but they are not allowing me because so much action is happening. But Kassadin is going to get jumped on by the Katarina. The Ignite is down. The pull from the Blitzcrank is going to be enough to finish that one off. Kassadin picking up that kill. Azingy now trying to do some damage to the Pantheon. Pantheon's going to have enough damage to pick up the Blitzcrank, though. And this Pantheon is going to die to the Kassadin, but now Soraka is back from the dead to come and try to help out her team at this Dragon. I don't know who's going to take down this Dragon, but currently the Kha'Zix is coming into this fight. Dragon respawning, regenerating life a little bit. Kassadin and Kha'Zix and Karthus, God, so many KAs, are trying to jump in onto this Sejuani. The Force Pulse does miss, so he's not slowed. The exhaust going down onto the Kha'Zix. And it looks like they are probably not going to be able to kill anybody here, but Azingy does have his ultimate available, so if they get them low enough, he might want to pop that, but it looks like the counter engage now with the Kog'Maw coming in. But it looks like, are they going to try to run back in onto this one? Kaz is doing a lot of damage, is going to pick up this Sejuani, so that is going to be a jungler for a jungler with 2 assists apiece. Very, very equal trade. But, Azingy just kind of running away, 2, 2, and 4, but okay, I think I might now finally have some breathing room after that first tier turret of the mid lane finally got taken down. First turret of the game going in favor of the red team, but as I was saying, when you buy a Tear of the Goddess first, you are incredibly weak, and normally you should try to abuse a champion who went for that kind of build, because they really have no damage towards them. They have no sustain, they have no health, they just have mana, so normally you want to try to gank that and really abuse the fact that they have no scaling items at the beginning, but now they're getting to the point where these things are going to be almost fully stacked, and they are going to be very, very hard to deal with once the Seraph's Embrace gets finished. Oh, Blitzcrank making a huge pull onto the Katarina, and I think Blitzcrank is right now just trying to get her low enough so that way Karthus can ultimate, or the Kassadin can get in. Kassadin is almost here, but there's going to be the ultimate from Azingy. Not going to be enough to pick up the Katarina. As I was saying before, just doesn't have a lot of AP with the Tear of the Goddess and the Giant's Belt right now. Only an amplifying tome making any kind of damage. The man drop now coming in from the Pantheon. Not going to be enough to pick up the Sejuani. That Q from Kassadin was just not enough. And it looks like he might be going down to the Katarina, who just managed to come back into the fight at the exact right moment. And that is going to be a dead Kassadin. But now Varus walking into 3 members of the enemy team. I don't know what he was thinking there. A great ultimate, but now it looks like the teleport coming in from Azingy. I don't know what they're thinking. You're going in like one by one. A lot of damage coming down onto the Pantheon. He's going to be taken down, and it looks like Kha'Zix is going to get out of this one. But here comes the Kog'Maw to try to pick up these two. A lot of damage onto the Karthus, but not enough to pick him up yet. But it looks like Katarina using the ward that Azingy placed down to Shunbo to it and pick up the kill on Azingy with the beautiful bouncing blades. That was an incredible play coming from Katarina. Great quick reflexes on that one, securing that kill on Azingy. So this is now turned into pretty much anybody's game, with the first dragon going over to the blue team. There you go, first dragon of the game at 15 minutes. This has all of a sudden gotten very, very intense from a dominating start for the red team at the beginning of this game to now a fairly even game. But Kassadin trying his luck against the Sejuani, but Sejuani is already so tanky. And what enchantment did she go for? She went for the Cinderhulk, the new enchantment she did go for, so getting that nice magic damage off from the Sunfire Cape-like buff. Soraka coming in at the right time to try to save Sejuani, but not going to be enough. And now it looks like she might have put herself in a precarious situation, but it doesn't look like the Kassadin is going to want to chase that one. Doesn't have enough vision on the rest of the blue team, so wanted to just be a little careful about that. So I'm going to run down the CS a little bit here, because some things have definitely changed. 99 to 84 in favor of Azingy's Karthus, doing very well in that top lane. Already finished off his Rylai's Crystal Scepter. 78 to 45 in favor of Kha'Zix, which is quite a big difference in that jungle, and he's also sitting at 4, 3, and 4 in comparison to the 1, 4, 5 of Sejuani. 106 to 69, big CS difference in favor of Kassadin, allowing him to pick up some pretty big items, including his Rod of Ages. 116 to 92 in favor of the Kog'Maw. Once again, a very large difference in favor of the blue team now, but it looks like Kha'Zix has gotten himself in a bit of a bad spot, but hopefully the Karthus is Kha'Zix is actually going to be the one to pick up the Pantheon, and now Azingy's just trying to stay alive against this Sejuani. Is not going to stay alive. Tried to get away from that one with his flash. Sorry, not with his flash. Sejuani used her flash to try to pick up the Azingy and did manage to get it. Sadly, he was not strong enough to kill her prior to his own demise. But it looks like they're now going to try to use this little advantage that they have to try to pick up this second tier mid lane turret. But with all this being done, Kog'Maw is just pushing the bot lane very hard. And here comes some damage coming down onto the Soraka. The heals having to be used. And it looks like they're both going to get out of that one. A very clutch ultimate coming from Soraka to just barely keep herself alive. And it looks like Blitzcrank has also gone for a Tear of the Goddess. You have 3 people stacking up their mana. The later this game goes, the scarier those items are going to be when they turn into Seraph's Embrace. And they all have very large mana shields. The mana shield and also the mana shield from Blitzcrank as well, from his passive. It's going to be a very interesting game to see when this goes a little bit further. But it's an interesting build coming out of Azingy, going for a little bit more tankiness and a little bit of when he gets into a fight, wants to keep people surrounding him, getting that Defile down, getting the slowdown from the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, and really holding people in his Defile until he gets low enough, and then he's going to die, and then he's going to ulti and hopefully kill people. But right now, lacking a little bit of damage. But it looks like we do have a gank going down into this bot lane. Kha'Zix going to jump right in onto this Kog'Maw. He is taking turret shots, though, so that's going to be a free kill for the Kog'Maw. Azingy now trying to get in here to do as much damage as he can, try to get people low before he goes down, because he really wants to use that ultimate that he currently has off of cooldown. Azingy almost dead, though, but it looks like there's another fight in the jungle. Kassadin is going to go down to the Ignite, and that's going to be another kill. Pantheon picking up the Blitzcrank, Katarina picking on the Kassadin, and it looks like the man drop is going to come in on the head of the, why can't I not remember his name? Varus, that's what I was going to call him Velcro for some reason, like, stick to your enemies. But no, Varus being picked up by the Kog'Maw with a great man drop. I have to say, it's been a tough beginning for Pantheon, but he has had some very, very clutch man drops. It has been so good, the positions that he's put himself in to really catch some people out. But you could also argue that the red team has not done a great job of positioning and taking into account the man drop from Pantheon. So it looks like Kha'Zix taunting a little bit. Blitzcrank going to try to grab, not going to get it. And there's the Karthus ultimate, not going to be anywhere near enough damage to pick off that Katarina. So there's a very long cooldown from Azingy going down with not really any reward for it. But he probably has fully stacked this. No, 493, so not doing a bad job. 592 for the Kassadin and 204 for the Blitzcrank. So once those things are finished, it looks like that's what Azingy's next item is going to be, finishing that Tear of the Goddess into the Archangel's Staff, which will then, once full, turn into the Seraph's Embrace. At least I believe that's what he's going to be turning that blasting one into. But until he builds it into something, it could be anything. So it looks like they're kind of targeting this bot lane outer turret. It's definitely a free turret if they just push up some minions and take that thing down. Kind of hard to defend right now with so much action going on around the map. And also with Azingy pushing the top lane, you really have to decide where you want to go. Kog'Maw, though, 154 CS, 4, 1, and 5. You have to be worried about that. Kog'Maw is one of those real hyper carry late game champions. And he's currently already gone through the early game and kind of the mid game just by how many kills and CS that he has. He's got his Trinity Force. He's already well on his way to the Blade of the Ruin King. And that's going to be one very scary Kog'Maw to deal with, considering he's so far ahead of the Varus, who's gone for an Essence Reaver. So a very different Varus build that we're seeing here, and I wonder if it's going to pay off for him in the later portions of the game. But I just feel like the Kog'Maw is going to really out-damage the Varus. Looks like Kha'Zix as well is going for a very damage-heavy Kha'Zix, which has worked so far, picking off people like the Kog'Maw in the early stages of the game. But once again, I think the later that this game goes, that Kog'Maw is just going to be able to like four-shot the Kha'Zix when he puts on his living artillery, and then what the hell is the W called? What is the W called? Come on. Bioarcane Barrage. I knew that. Simple. The Bioarcane Barrage, when he puts that thing on, he's going to land that Living Artillery and a Q, and that is just going to melt. But a great grab onto the Kog'Maw. Not going to be enough. He flashes the Varus ultimate, which was a great flash from the Kog'Maw. Soraka using everything to try to keep him alive, but not quite enough. Azingy's going to go down probably to the passive. No, Sejuani's going to pick up Azingy. Azingy does not have his ultimate, so his zombie is just currently useless. Looks like the spear from Pantheon is going to be enough to pick up that Varus. Smite coming down from the Kha'Zix, I guess, to try to clear a path from the minions. And he is going to get flashed and stunned upon by the Pantheon. Double kill for the Pantheon. That is going to be one dead Kha'Zix, and it looks like just the Kassadin managing to scrounge his way out of that fight. Barely getting out of there. But it was a great start to the fight, picking off that Kog'Maw, but he survived for so long with the heals coming out from the Soraka that they just couldn't kill him. And he had a great flash out of the Varus ultimate. Just overall, great teamwork from this blue team, and just not quite enough synergy from the red team. Blitzcrank gonna try to hold this Katarina down a little bit. The Ignite has gone down. Dragon going to the red blue team. Come on, Twigger, figure it out. You just came home from work, you're tired, I get it, but get your head in the game, buddy. So 22 to 19, now all of a sudden 38.1k to 38k. The gold lead is finally in favor of the blue team, managing to claw their way back from a fairly dismal start. But 2 dragons to 0 as well, so in just a little while, they're going to be threatening those the 5 dragons. But here we go. This is what you want to do with Karthus. It looks like he's going to try to take down this Baron fairly quickly, but this is the problem with Kha'Zix being so damn squishy. He can't tank the Baron for nearly any amount of time. He just got taken down so quickly. And I don't know if they're going to stick around to try to make something happen here, but definitely a failed Baron attempt and 2 pink wards that were placed down. I wonder if that was just a miscommunication. They both placed them down, but man, losing a lot of gold for that little mistake. And also just losing a bunch of map pressure because you tried to do a sneaky Baron and you let your Kha'Zix, who is not tanky, tank it. Blitzcrank haven't used his flash, but great little re-engage by the Sejuani with her ultimate. Going to be enough to pick up that support. So now the threat of being pulled is gone. Kha'Zix taken down to half HP just because of a little Pantheon harassment. But it looks like the Soraka taken very low as well. Quarter HP because of Azingy's damage. And it looks like it was a great ultimate from the Varus trying to take down this Pantheon. Shutdown bonus going to the Kha'Zix who picked up that kill. Azingy trying to survive, but is going to be taken down by a Katarina. And the ultimate is going to come down. I don't know if this is going to be enough. It's not enough to pick up the Soraka. That heal nearly killed her though. My God. I don't know if you can actually heal yourself to death, though. But very scary stuff, but it looks like she is being right on top of a ward. Is the Varus going to land this piercing arrow? Oh, and there is the death. It's the one problem about being in a bush that you haven't swept when you're that low. You just got absolutely destroyed. Some damage going down onto the Kog'Maw, not quite enough to pick him up yet. He is going to try to run in there, but taking too many turret shots, and that is going to be the disengage on the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw nearly taking down the Kassadin as well. He is getting very strong. 6, 2, and 7, but there we go, being again. My God, the Soraka gets picked off from the B, Kog'Maw gets picked off from the B, and there you go, Blitzcrank picking up a kill, but Katarina now jumping in onto this Varus. That is going to be a dominating Katarina, and the ultimate coming out of Pantheon for some reason, I guess to try to defend the Katarina if they were to try to jump in on her. Azingy going to be taking a little bit of damage from this My word, that was damage. Holy crap, and there's going to be a ward jump from the Katarina and the bouncing blade to pick off Azingy. He's just so squishy, but it looks like, I don't know if he just finished the Seraph's Embrace during that little engagement there, but if he had it, it looks like he forgot to use the shield, which would have kept him alive. But it looks like there's going to be a kill onto the Pantheon, but Kha'Zix being locked down so well. Katarina just getting all of her resets, and that is going to be a triple kill for the Katarina. It was technically a pentakill when you think about it. It was a delayed pentakill, but she picked up the Varus, she picked up Azingy, and then she got a triple kill. So delayed pentakill for this Katarina, doing what Katarina does best, and that's a great combo when you have that Sejuani ultimate followed up by the Katarina. Just the resets are going to absolutely decimate your team. As we saw right there, very easy triple kill for the Katarina, getting out with full HP and double buffs. Got to love that. So Azingy looks like he's finished off his Seraph's Embrace, so we will have that shield. He's got another blasting one. I'm not entirely sure what he plans on turning that into. Might very well be an Abyssal Scepter. I know that's a very good item to have in this current meta. As we can see, the Katarina already decided to build an Abyssal Scepter fairly early into her build. But not sure what Azingy's going to build that into. It could very well be a Rod of Age. Sorry, well, it could technically be a Rod of Ages. Probably won't be, though. But it could also be a Rabadon Seth Cappy if he's worried about damage, or a Void Staff. So we will have to wait and see until he gets more gold so we can see what that turns into. But just looking down at the scores, it is... okay, well, we've got ward coverage, guys. Don't worry. Just in case they want to try to clear those out. They do have their own ward there, the blue team, so they do know that the red team put those wards there, so they will not be surprised by that. But with one sweeper, they could make a pretty penny, you know? go back to the bank. Go pick up some sweet items. And it looks like Pantheon gonna man drop onto the head of the Varus. Great ultimate from the Varus, but the Pantheon is doing so much damage. Last Whisper and that Hydra just blowing up the Varus. He didn't even have a chance. Even with landing that ultimate, it just was like nowhere near. Like Pantheon gets in on that Varus and Varus is dead in a second. And we saw it against Azingy as well, who also is a little bit tankier because of the Giant's Belt part of the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, but still got absolutely shredded by this Pantheon. I'm not entirely sure what the red team can do right now because they don't have a tank either. Azingy is going down. There we go. Blue Rain's Katarina is now legendary. The ultimate from Karthus is going to happen, but it is not enough to pick up the Katarina, and now Pantheon is just going wild on this team. Finally gets picked up by the Blitzcrank hook. Blitzcrank doing a great job at securing those kills, and it looks like Sejuani is going to pick up the Kassadin to end that fight 3 for 1. I might have misspoke. It looks like the Blitzcrank trying to pick up this Katarina. Not going to be enough, though. The Locket of the Iron Solari coming out for the Sejuani is going to be enough to save the Katarina's life, and that is now a 4 for 1 exchange for that fight. It is just not going the way of Azingy right now. He just barely doesn't have enough damage, and he's barely had enough damage for this entire game. So many times has that ultimate just not performed. It was only really the first ultimate that he used in the top lane that ended up securing him a kill, but other than that, his ultimate has been really lackluster. So it looks like the third dragon of the game is going to be going in favor of the blue team. Honestly, very, very scary stuff to have a 3 dragon already at 28 minutes. It's fairly quick. So they do have to be worried about that, the red team. It's just, you can't let that happen. You can't have this constantly uncontested dragon because these things do stack up. I know it's not scary at the beginning of the game, but man, when you get later on into the game and there's just like a couple left, it starts a kind of ticking time bomb that if they end up getting that 5th dragon, good luck coming back from that, especially considering that you're already losing. Pantheon looks like he's going to try to engage on this Blitzcrank, but little did he know that he had 2 other people there supporting him. Nice little counter engage from the red team, picking up the Pantheon, who was one of their major damage dealers. 11, 11, and 15. Such an odd score with so many kills, so many assists, but also so many deaths. Did Kog'Maw? No, okay, it was, oh my god, I thought Kog'Maw actually picked that thing up. That was going to be impressive. But they do have the Scuttler Crab advantage in the Baron area, which is definitely a good thing to have because Baron is kind of the next objective considering the fact that they just took the Dragon. So having as much vision around the Baron is very important because that's how you tend to come back into the game. If you can steal the Baron or if you catch them fighting the Baron and you manage to get a good team fight, it can really swing the game back in your favor considering that they are just about 3.5k behind. The red team is certainly not out of this game, but they definitely do have a little bit of a ways to climb back. A great pull onto the Sejuani, though. They are kind of grouped up, though. If Sejuani uses her ultimate, might be able to do something here. But there's the ultimate landing just on 2 people. Kaz is trying to get away from this one. Sejuani is going to run away, and Blue Rain coming in on Katarina, doing a lot of damage, picking up the Kazakhs. And this is currently could start a rampage for her. She is going to use her Zonias to try to survive here. Not going to be able to pick her up. Sejuani coming in to counter engage on this one. Great ultimate landing from the Varus. Not going to be enough to pick people up, though. Blue Rain just doing work on Katarina, caking out Azingy, but Azingy managing to get a kill onto the Kog'Maw, sorry, and it looks like Katarina trying to go for there's a triple kill, there's a quadra kill. Was that it wasn't a penta kill, damn it. Who stole the penta? Unbelievable. See, even in Challenger tier you get these things. Wish I saw the penta, but oh well. Quadra kill is damn near good enough, and that was it wasn't that standard Katarina, like, get all your resets and jump around and blow everybody up in like a quarter of a second. This was a much more prolonged team fight, and it looks like, no, damn, I thought we were gonna have another really delayed. Oh, there we go. Azingy, are you finally gonna make it? Yeah, way to go, buddy. So there we go. He finally gets a kill off of his ultimate, gets a shutdown of 500 gold, and it looks like Azingy now using his teleport with Home Guard to try to get in on the Soraka. Going to use that Wall of Pain to try to slow her down, but not going to have enough, and Soraka is just so fast right now with her Talisman of Ascension. And that was just a wasted flash from Azingy, just going to get locked down. So, wasted flash, and that's pretty big on Karthus. You really want to have your flash to jump into the enemy team and die in front of them, so that way you're getting all of your damage off. Kha'Zix's going to use his ultimate to try to get in here, but a great ultimate from Sejuani. He's going to lock down both Kha'Zix and Kassadin. Sorry, not Kassadin, Karthus, but just not enough to pick anybody up yet. Looks like the Kog'Maw might go down from the Karthus damage, but not enough. Double kill for the Kog'Maw. Soraka doing a great job of keeping him alive. The Mandrop coming in from the Pantheon. Not going to be enough to pick anybody up yet, but it looks like Pantheon is going to die from the Varus. Varus trying his best to hold off the enemy team onslaught, but it's just him right now. Kha'Zix had to go back to heal because he was so low. And that is going to be the end of that team fight. So very, very interesting plays coming on. I really disagree with how many times the red team wants to fight the blue team in such close corridors, I should say, because the Sejuani ultimate there was so good. Pantheon didn't even man drop on the main source of damages, but he went in and just kind of fended people off. But it's just they just seem to have so much more burst AoE damage from the blue team. And Azingy is really the main source of AoE damage from the red team. Everything else is just kind of delayed, right? Like, you've got the Force Pulse from the Kassadin and the Rift Walk, and you've got the ultimate from the Varus. Like, Piercing Arrow, sure, but like just looking at the damage that the blue team is able to dish out with the Katarina mixed with the Sejuani ultimate is just going to be really hard for the red team to deal with. Looks like we got a battle of the supports. And a great juke coming out of the Sejuani. Kassadin might have overextended here. The ultimate from Sejuani missed, but the flash coming out of the Kassadin is going to Rift Walk away from this one. Very nice escape, but Sejuani missing that ultimate. Very big ultimate to miss, and also a very strange ultimate just to use on one person. But here comes the Katarina. Is this going to be the pentakill that we were waiting for? I don't know. She gets locked down by the Varus ultimate, and she is now going to come back into this one. The Shunpo is available. That is going to be a kill for the Kog'Maw, not going to the Katarina. She just wanted to go absolutely ham on this one. The ultimate is not yet available for Katarina. It is almost there, though, and then she'll probably be able to get some resets going. She does have a Guardian Angel, so not really concerned about diving into this turret, but is going to get pulled by the Blitzcrank and just going to be able to Shunpo out of there right after she gets the kill. Very, very nicely executed by the Katarina. And the Mandrop coming down now from the Pantheon. Flashes, gets a spear off onto the Varus. Karthus is going to die. Azingy going down to the Kog'Maw. And it looks like the Kassadin is the next victim, but is not going to go down. Going to Rift Walk away and get out of that one. But it looks like Azingy not using his ultimate. Didn't want to waste it because he kind of knew that once again, he lacked damage and he's just not going to be able to kill anybody. Even though he now has his Void Staff available, he still is just very much lacking in this game. Even though we had a very, very good start to this game, and Kassadin had a great start to this game, and Kha'Zix had a great start to this game, it just goes to show that the later this game goes, sometimes you can bring things back, and you shouldn't really worry about just how the early game goes, because sometimes you can really bring it back. But it looks like even in the fountain, Kog'Maw managing to take down the Kha'Zix, and it looks like this is going to be a dead... Oh, no, it's not yet. Kassadin is going to stay alive for now, and it looks like this might be the end of the game, but it looks like they're not quite done yet. Azingy going to do as much damage as humanly possible. The Guardian Angel being popped by the Katarina. And it looks like that is finally going to be the end of the game. It looks like Pantheon just had enough and wanted to just continue to fight the Nexus by himself. And it looks like the Kog'Maw might have been hitting that one as well. So that was Azingy playing his Karthus up in the top lane. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that high ELO commentary. I love doing them. Let me know what you guys want to see in the comments section below. And if you enjoy these high ELO commentaries, definitely let me know. And definitely press that like button. Show it a little bit of love if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, I will see you in the next video.